This is National Safeguarding Adults Week. My name's Anthony Douglas. I'm the independent chair of the Suffolk Safeguarding Partnership, and I just wanted to encourage you to participate in National Safeguarding Adults Week. There are many activities, learning activities, ways in finding out more about the big issues for adults who need safeguarding. Check out social media channels and check our website. The Suffolk Safeguarding Partnership is made up of all the mainstream agencies who protect vulnerable adults and adults at risk. Social care, the police, health, mental health services, and the voluntary sector and community sectors who support tens of thousands of vulnerable people in Suffolk. We work together because it takes a team to protect an adult at risk. That team could be a family member, a social worker, and a police officer. It's different in every situation. The role of the Safeguarding Partnership is to make sure the team around the vulnerable adult is working well, that agencies cooperate, they work well together, no rifts, they share a common language and approach, and that when it comes to referrals or making safeguarding inquiries, that it's a joint approach and a joint response. So we spend our whole time trying to make those partnerships work, trying to make partnership working effective, both with individuals, with policy, and with strategy. The importance of safeguarding adults is shown time and time again, every day in our work. In the COVID era, people are becoming more anxious often, especially now having to isolate again potentially, maybe having to shield themselves again, particularly families with children with profound disabilities or very vulnerable older people without immunity. And the prospect of going through that again is quite frightening. I heard from a man a few days ago who contacted me about a financial scam, feeling absolutely terrified. He was 82 and he was being cold called. And the anxiety he felt was terrible, that the phone call was invading his privacy. He couldn't turn it off because he was waiting for his children to ring him. But safeguarding adults can take quite large forms and quite small forms. I'd also like to say that for safeguarding adults, that goes on for about 90 years potentially, from 18 these days into your early hundreds. 50% of children born today will live to be over 100. Childhood lasts 18 years. And sometimes if you're in transition between children and adult services, you may be in that transition as early as 15. So safeguarding adults is a long process, and it matters whether people are in their 20s, who've just come out of teenage mental health problems, trying to make it, right the way through to trying to make sure people are safe at the end of their lives when they might also be threatened in one way or another. The importance of safeguarding adults I've recently realised in carrying out some work myself, and I just mentioned two things that are important. Firstly, in Care Act assessments, to assess individuals who need help in the round, to think about mental capacity, to think about mental health, to think about emotional well-being, to think about carers, to think about the environment, and to think about family. So even if you're responding to something that seems one-off, simple and straightforward, you should carry all those aspects of a Care Act assessment in your head and to think, are any of those applicable, and to subtly check them out without taking too much time, nobody has it, or without being too overburdening. In our safeguarding partnership, we always try to understand the lived experience of adults at risk, adults who need safeguarding, not just to hear from professionals, but to hear from people themselves about their experience, what worries them, and what will help them. And that process of co-production, whether it's with parents and carers who are looking after their loved one and not getting enough help, whether it's older people who are alone, every professional is working with someone in a co-production with a shared approach, not doing to someone, but doing it with. And whatever the horrors in safeguarding adults, and there are some really, really awful things happening to a minority of people, it's really important to investigate and help that person with them and not just put them through a process. So making safeguarding personal, which is one of our big themes in the partnership, means just that, to get inside someone's lived experience and not to make assumptions or tell them what needs to happen, but to really understand it from their point of view. And we'll have plenty of materials and learning during the week. It will help to deepen my understanding and everyone else's understanding of lived experience. So that's just a quick intro to the week, and I hope you find something of relevance to you and your work.